Imagine this, an everyday kitchen item, something as simple as salt, holding the power to transform not just your meals, but your entire spiritual life. Sounds far-fetched? It's not. Welcome to today's video, where we're uncovering the surprising hidden truths about salt in the Bible. Truths that might just change how you approach your faith and your daily life. From ancient rituals to miraculous stories, we'll explore how salt serves as a powerful spiritual weapon, one that has the potential to bring about profound changes in your life. So stay tuned, because by the end of this journey, you'll see that salt is far more than just a seasoning. It's a symbol of divine power, protection, and a deeper connection to the spiritual world. Before we dive into the incredible stories and insights, let's take a moment to truly grasp why something as simple as salt holds such profound meaning in the Bible. It's not just a seasoning. It's a symbol, a tool, and a reminder of the divine connection that can transform our lives. Let's start with a powerful story that illustrates just how life-changing this can be. Chapter 1. Sarah's Miraculous Transformation. Let me share with you a deeply moving story of transformation that beautifully illustrates the power of faith and divine intervention. This is the story of Sarah, a woman who faced unimaginable hardships but found hope and renewal through her spiritual journey. Sarah's life was marked by a series of trials that seemed insurmountable. She struggled with financial instability, health issues, and personal crises that left her feeling trapped in a cycle of despair. Despite her best efforts, the weight of her challenges made it hard for her to see a way forward. It was during this turbulent period that Sarah decided to turn to her faith for solace and guidance. One day, Sarah stumbled upon a passage in the Bible about the use of salt in spiritual rituals. The passage spoke of salt's role in purification and covenant, which sparked a profound realization within her. She began to see salt not just as a common household item, but as a symbol of divine intervention and spiritual renewal. With this newfound understanding, Sarah began incorporating salt into her daily spiritual practices. She prayed with intent, using salt in symbolic rituals to cleanse her home and herself from negative energies and past traumas. Her faith and dedication were palpable. She would sprinkle salt around her living space while asking for God's blessings and protection. The results were nothing short of miraculous. Sarah noticed a significant shift in her circumstances. Her financial situation began to improve, her health stabilized, and her personal relationships started to heal. This transformation was so profound that she began to share her story with others, emphasizing the role that her renewed faith and understanding of salt played in her spiritual journey. Sarah's experience serves as a powerful reminder of how divine intervention can manifest in unexpected ways. It shows that faith, combined with spiritual practices like the symbolic use of salt, can lead to profound personal transformation. As we reflect on Sarah's story, it's clear that our next topic will deepen our understanding of how such transformative power can be connected to divine symbols and their roles in our spiritual lives. Chapter 2. The biblical significance of salt and Moses' rod. Transitioning from Sarah's personal transformation, let's now explore the broader biblical significance of salt. Our journey takes us to the story of Moses and his rod, a powerful symbol of divine intervention and transformation. In the book of Exodus, we learn about Moses' rod, initially a simple shepherd's staff that was transformed into a divine instrument of God's will. This ordinary tool became a source of miraculous power, performing wonders like parting the Red Sea and bringing forth water from a rock. Just as Moses' rod was imbued with divine power, salt in the Bible carries profound spiritual significance. Salt was more than a common seasoning. It was a sacred symbol of God's covenant with his people. For instance, Leviticus 2:13 instructs, "Season all your grain offerings with salt. Do not leave the salt of the covenant of your God out of your grain offerings. Add salt to all your offerings." This verse underscores how salt was integral to maintaining the covenant between God and his people, highlighting its sacred role in spiritual practices. Salt's symbolism in biblical rituals mirrors the transformation seen with Moses' rod. Both represent the elevation of the ordinary to the extraordinary through divine will. Just as Moses' rod became a powerful tool for miracles, salt was seen as a means of connecting with God's promises and power. This comparison not only enriches our understanding of salt's biblical role, but also emphasizes how our own spiritual practices can transform the mundane into the miraculous. As we continue to explore the profound symbolism of salt, our next focus will be on how it represents purification and the importance of cleansing our lives from deceit. But before we dive into that, I want to share something that might interest you. If you're looking to unlock the secrets to attracting significant wealth effortlessly, be sure to check out the link in the comments below. It's based on revelations from a former NASA scientist that could be a game changer for your financial journey. Now let's get back to uncovering how salt symbolizes purification and integrity in our lives. Chapter 3. Leaving Lies Behind. Salt as a symbol of purification. Building on the transformative power of salt and its biblical significance, let's now examine salt's role as a symbol of purification and truth. In biblical times, salt was not just a preservative, but a potent symbol of cleansing and spiritual integrity. Salt was used in ancient rituals to purify and sanctify offerings, ensuring that they were free from impurity before being presented to God. This practice highlights how salt represented the removal of impurities, making offerings acceptable to God. The concept of purification through salt underscores the importance of honesty and integrity in our spiritual lives. In our own lives, leaving behind lies and deceit is crucial for spiritual growth. Just as salt was used to cleanse offerings, we are called to purify our lives from falsehoods. This process of spiritual cleansing is not a one-time event, but an ongoing journey. Salt's role in purification serves as a powerful reminder that we must continuously strive to align our actions with our beliefs, ensuring that we live authentically and truthfully. Moreover, this concept of purification through salt is intertwined with the idea of maintaining spiritual and moral integrity. Just as salt preserved the purity of offerings, we must strive to uphold truth in our lives. This ongoing effort to cleanse ourselves from deceit reflects a deeper commitment to our faith and a desire to live in accordance with divine teachings. Chapter 4. Salt as a symbol of divine judgment. As we delve into the historical significance of salt, it's important to understand its role in representing divine judgment and consequences. Salt was not merely a substance for flavoring food. It carried profound spiritual and symbolic weight, especially in the context of divine justice. In the Old Testament, salt's role as a symbol of judgment is vividly illustrated in the story of Shechem. According to Judges 9, the city of Shechem faced a dire fate due to its people's wickedness and rebellion. After Abimelech's defeat of the city, salt was spread over its ruins as a powerful symbol of desolation and divine retribution. This act of salting the land was a deliberate and significant gesture, demonstrating that Shechem's sin had led to its complete and utter destruction. The use of salt in this manner highlights its role as a tangible representation of God's judgment. By spreading salt over the land, the message was clear. The land, now marked by salt, was barren and cursed, a testament to the gravity of the people's actions. This symbolic act served not only as a punishment, but also as a solemn reminder to future generations of the consequences of straying from God's path. This historical use of salt to signify desolation and divine disapproval reflects a deeper spiritual truth. It underscores the importance of remaining steadfast in righteousness and adhering to divine laws. The practice serves as a reminder that our actions have consequences, and turning away from moral and spiritual integrity leads to profound repercussions. Moreover, this symbolic use of salt extends beyond mere punishment. It emphasizes the need for continuous adherence to divine principles. Just as salt was used to mark the ruins of Shechem as a sign of divine judgment, we are reminded of the need to uphold righteousness in our own lives. This historical context enriches our understanding of salt as not just a physical substance, but a profound symbol of divine justice and the moral imperatives that guide our lives. Chapter 5. Total commitment to God. The spiritual significance of salt. Shifting our focus from historical judgments to personal spiritual commitment, salt's role in our faith journey is a profound symbol of total dedication to God. In its spiritual context, salt represents more than just a seasoning. It embodies the essence of unwavering commitment and divine grace. Throughout biblical times, salt was used in rituals to symbolize enduring covenants and commitments. For instance, in Leviticus 2:13, salt is described as an essential element in offerings to God. Season all your grain offerings with salt. Do not leave the salt of the covenant of your God out of your grain offerings. Add salt to all your offerings. This instruction highlights how salt was integral to maintaining a covenant with God, symbolizing the importance of complete and devoted commitment. In our own spiritual journeys, this symbolism is deeply relevant. Just as salt was used to preserve and season offerings, our dedication to God should be comprehensive and unwavering. This commitment involves more than occasional acts of faith. It requires a total surrender to God's will, ensuring that every aspect of our lives reflects our devotion. The metaphor of salt also speaks to the transformative power of complete dedication. Just as salt enhances and preserves the flavor of food, our full commitment to God enriches our spiritual lives and allows us to experience the fullness of divine blessings. It's about living in a way that aligns with God's teachings, making sacrifices where necessary, and consistently pursuing righteousness. This dedication is not always easy, but it's through this complete surrender that we open ourselves to receiving God's grace and blessings. Just as salt's presence enhances and preserves, our dedication to God transforms and elevates our lives, aligning them with divine purposes and principles. Embracing this commitment allows us to fully experience the richness of a life lived in accordance with God's will. Chapter 6. An American Historian's Insight into Salt's Symbolism. As we explore the multifaceted role of salt, let's turn to a fascinating historical anecdote that provides additional insights into its spiritual significance. An American historian, known for their extensive research into ancient cultures, uncovered intriguing details about salt's symbolic role in various societies. During a journey through ancient lands, this historian discovered that salt was revered not only in biblical contexts, but also in a wide range of cultures as a symbol of trust, covenant, and sacred promises. Salt's use extended beyond mere preservation. It was a fundamental element in rituals and agreements, signifying enduring bonds and divine favor. In many ancient cultures, salt was used in sacred ceremonies to establish and reinforce agreements. For example, in some traditions, sharing a meal seasoned with salt was seen as a gesture of trust and commitment, signifying that the parties involved were bound by a sacred bond. This practice highlights salt's role as a symbol of integrity and enduring relationships. The historian's findings illuminate how deeply ingrained salt was in spiritual and cultural practices. Its significance as a symbol of divine promises and sacred agreements underscores its role in maintaining the purity and sanctity of relationships, both human and divine. These historical insights reinforce our understanding of salt as a sacred element in spiritual practices, connecting the past with the present and enriching our appreciation of its spiritual symbolism. Chapter 7. Acting on our beliefs, faith, and action. As we delve into the profound implications of faith, it's essential to understand that belief is not merely an internal conviction, but a dynamic force that must manifest through our actions. Faith, much like the symbolism of salt in biblical times, is not just about what we profess, but how we live out those beliefs in our daily lives. Salt, in its biblical context, was used to signify covenant and purity. It wasn't just an ingredient, but a powerful symbol of an enduring relationship with the divine and the purity required to maintain it. This symbolism is deeply relevant to our own faith journey. Just as salt was integral to offerings and covenants, our faith must be reflected in our deeds and actions. In the Bible, the emphasis on action is clear. In James 2:26, we are reminded that faith without works is dead. This verse highlights that genuine faith cannot exist in isolation from our actions. Our beliefs should inspire us to act with kindness, honesty, and integrity. Faith is not simply a matter of verbal affirmation, but a guiding principle that shapes our behavior and interactions with others. Living out our faith involves making conscious choices that align with our beliefs. It means acting with compassion, standing up for justice, and living with integrity. Just as salt enhances and preserves, our actions should reflect and reinforce our faith. For example, engaging in acts of charity and helping those in need are tangible expressions of our commitment to the principles we hold dear. These actions demonstrate that our faith is not just theoretical, but a practical force in our lives. Moreover, our actions should embody the values we believe in. Whether it's being honest in our dealings, showing kindness to those around us, or standing firm in our convictions, our daily behavior should be a reflection of our faith. This alignment between belief and action is crucial for living a life that is true to our spiritual convictions. In essence, acting on our beliefs is about making our faith a living, breathing part of our existence. It's about integrating our values into our actions and interactions, ensuring that our faith is not confined to our thoughts, but is actively demonstrated in our lives. Just as salt was used to signify the sacredness of covenants, our actions should signify the depth and sincerity of our faith. Chapter 8. Miracles and Divine Authority. The power of Jesus' words. As we transition from the practical application of faith to the miraculous demonstrations of divine authority, we encounter one of the most powerful examples of faith in action: the miracles performed by Jesus. In the Gospel of John, we find a striking illustration of Jesus' divine power and its ability to transcend physical limitations. One of the most remarkable instances is the healing of a blind man, recounted in John 9. Jesus encounters a man who has been blind from birth, and with just a few words and a simple act, applying mud made from his saliva to the man's eyes, Jesus heals him. This miracle is a profound demonstration of how Jesus' authority is not constrained by the physical realm. His words and actions are imbued with divine power, illustrating that spiritual truths can manifest in tangible ways. This miracle exemplifies the intersection of the spiritual and physical realms. Jesus' ability to heal with a word signifies that divine authority transcends natural limitations. It shows that the spiritual power of God can directly affect our physical reality, transforming what seems impossible into a testimony of divine intervention. Jesus' miracles serve as a powerful reminder of the authority and power inherent in divine words and actions. They highlight that faith is not just about internal belief, but also about the manifestation of divine power in our lives. The healing of the blind man is not just a historical event, but a symbol of the transformative power of faith. It encourages us to recognize and embrace the divine authority that can bring about miraculous changes in our own lives. By reflecting on these miracles, we are reminded of the potential for divine intervention in our own experiences. It inspires us to trust in the power of faith and to believe that the spiritual can indeed impact the physical. Jesus' miracles underscore the importance of having faith that is not just theoretical, but actively engaged in bringing about transformation and healing. Chapter 9. Absolute Devotion. The Call to a Dedicated Life. As we draw our exploration of salt's spiritual significance to a close, it's important to reflect on the call for absolute devotion to God. The story of salt and its symbolism serves as a profound reminder of the commitment required in our spiritual journey. Salt's role as a symbol of purity, covenant, and dedication highlights the importance of living a life fully devoted to God. Just as salt was used to signify enduring relationships and divine promises, our own faith journey calls for a complete and unwavering commitment to God. This devotion is not limited to specific times or rituals, but extends to every aspect of our lives. Being devoted to God involves a holistic approach to faith. It means integrating our spiritual beliefs into our daily actions, decisions, and interactions. This level of commitment requires more than occasional acts of faith. It calls for a continual dedication to living according to God's will. Our devotion should permeate every aspect of our lives, from our personal relationships to our professional endeavors. The call to absolute devotion is about aligning our lives with the divine principles we hold dear. It involves making choices that reflect our commitment to God and maintaining integrity and purity in our actions. This kind of devotion is not just about religious observance, but about living a life that consistently honors and reflects our faith. The story of salt and its spiritual symbolism challenges us to reflect on our commitment to God and to strive for a life that is fully dedicated to divine principles. Just as salt was used to mark covenants and symbolize purity, our lives should embody the same dedication and purity in our relationship with God. In conclusion, salt in the Bible represents much more than a simple seasoning. It is a symbol of spiritual power, divine covenant, and purification. From marking barren lands as a punishment to acting as a spiritual weapon, salt's role is profound and multifaceted. As you reflect on these insights, remember that salt's power lies in its ability to connect the spiritual with the material. It's a reminder to live faithfully, act with purpose, and embrace the divine blessings available to us. Thank you for watching this exploration of salt's hidden truths. If you found this video insightful, please leave a comment sharing your thoughts and experiences. I love hearing from you and engaging in meaningful conversations. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and share it with friends and family. Your support helps us reach more people and spread the message of faith and understanding. Stay blessed, and see you in the next video.